Yo guys, what is going on? I got some BT8 games for you guys today. So we're playing X-Antibody on the right, a deck I think a lot of people are really hyped for just because of all the new support it's getting out of New Awakening. And then on the left is probably the deck to beat, I think, for the new format. That's going to be Imperialdramon. So over there, my opponent's set up pretty nicely with the Vmon plus the X-Vmon from EX1 already. So we got the jamming. We see he has this Stingmon in his hand. He's just going to play that for a cost of 4. And then on the right, I set up with the Ryudomon and the Dorugumon, as well as the Yuji Tamer for a 3 cost, and then Digivolving into the Dorugreymon for another 3 cost. So Yuji is a really nice consistency card for the deck. Not only it gets you the extra pluses from the draw and gaining memory, but then also lets you stick stuff underneath him whenever you decide to attack. We're going to see the jamming swing from the X-Vmon, drawing 2 cards, I believe, off of the Vmon inherited, which isn't once per turn, of course, and then the Demi-Vmon, if this Digimon is jamming, you draw 1, and then we're going to see the Imperialdramon player debate if he wants to get in an extra swing with the Stingmon here. Of course, if it dies, he won't be able to DNA if he doesn't have another Stingmon hand, so I think the safer play is just to go ahead and go into the Imperialdramon for a cost of 0, unsuspending it, of course, because that is how DNA Digivolution works, and then we're going to swing, and then because it is DNA Digivolved, the once per turn inherited effects will reset on the Imperialdramon, so of course you're going to be able to draw another card off of the Demi-Vmon and then another card off the Stingmon, and the Stingmon's not actually once per turn either. So we're going to swing, hit an Alphamon, that's going to go to hand. Unfortunately, no X-Antibodies or Royal Knights on the field to be able to protect from attacking, and then the second card is going to be a Yuji there. We're going to Hammer Spark, go back to 4, and then Digivolve into the Imperialdramon. Imperialdramon on Digivolve gets to play a couple of level 4s from your Digivolution sources, and then we're just going to go ahead and Jogris DNA Digivolve once again, and then go into the Dino B, and then of course, because status conditions are reset, it is able to attack immediately, and we are just not stopping. We're going to go into Imperialdramon number 2, so just like that, guys, this is what I'm talking about. You're able to swing 4 times and get 4 Digimon on field. Just an absolutely crazy setup. That's definitely the ideal turn you want as an Imperialdramon player. We're going to push out Dorugreymon and then gain 2 memory and draw 2 cards off of our Yuji there. And honestly, there's not a whole lot you can do to come back from here. What you really need here is to just go for game, because I don't think there's any realistic way you're going to be able to swing over all of the Imperialdramons and then get rid of the X-Vmon plus Stingmon as well. So we got the Dorugreymon for the Sec Attack +1. We're just going to Digivolve into Alphamon for a cost of 3. And then Alphamon does get plus 1,000, I do believe, or some boost from the Dorugreymon there underneath its materials. And then we've also got the effect of Yuji that we're going to proc on attack. You can stick a black X-Antibody underneath it, and then we're going to stick the Oriyumon there, draw 1 off the Dorymon, and then it's going to unsuspend because of the Oriyumon, since we can trigger that effect afterwards. Since it's an Alphamon battling, we get to unsuspend it, and then going to pay a couple of memory to be able to beat over the fighter mode there, and then gain 2 at the end of the battle, and we can abuse that effect once again because Alphamon's and the battle effect is not once per turn. So the cool thing is we can check multiple cards swinging twice, but what I really need here is either another Oriyumon or another Dorugreymon to be able to check the remaining cards, and something like a hybrid to finish out the game, but that is not happening here, guys. So here I'm debating in my hand what I could possibly do to be able to out this field, but it looks like we're just going to have to try to dig some more. So I think I've got a Dorumon in my hand I can possibly play. We're just going to go ahead, swing Security first, and see what we can hit, and then use the effect of Yuji to stick another material underneath it. So we're going to play that Dorumon just for a cost of 3. I'm going to gain memory off the Alphamon anyway, so you might as well try to search a little bit, but unfortunately not going to be able to grab anything of substance. Just going to take another Alphamon in the hand and then swing Alphamon, use the Yuji effect to stick another card underneath it. But at this point, it doesn't really matter what we do. I think I could have put like the reboot blocker effects underneath it of both the Hisaryumon and the Ginryumon, so that could potentially slow down my opponent a little bit, but with 4 Digimon on field, it's not really going to do much. And then we're going to hit a Megadeth regardless in security. The just bounces the Alphamon back to hand, and at that point, I'm probably just going to scoop it up because there's not really anything I can do. I'm just going to play a Coda to pass turn, and we're going to unsuspend all of the Digimon on my opponent's side of the field, and we're just going to swing for game. So guys, that's going to be game 1, and then game 2, I'm going to start to hopefully try to get a little bit better set up before my opponent OTKs me. We're going to Digivolve the Tsunorizumon for a 0 cost, and then play a Ryudomon, who will then reveal the top 3 and add any X-Antibody plus the UG Tamer. So we're just going to grab 1 card there, and then put our opponent to 3. He's going to start, of course, with the Vmon. Once again, a pretty ideal start there. We see he's also got the Davis in hand, so lots of options for him as well. The cool thing about Imperial is that it is so consistent. We know consistency is such a powerful aspect of blue. We've seen in Blue Hybrid. That's what makes the deck so good, is because it's consistent. You can constantly just pull out all your pieces from your deck with stuff like your Vmon searches with your Davis, and then just OTK and spam the board while you're at it. We're just going to play another searcher, reveal a couple more cards. Our opponent's going to go into the X-Vmon there for a cost of 2, going down to 1. Probably just going to swing and get the draw 2 here. But the good thing for me is at least he won't be able to go Stingmon into Imperialdramon, at least unless he has like double Hammer Spark or something. But most likely he does not have that, or at least he wouldn't want to waste the resources just to bottom deck one of my rookies. So we're just going to see a Stingmon played for a reduced cost of 3, since he does control a blue Digimon. And that's definitely going to limit what I can do, since I don't have a Memory Tamer out in play yet. I'm just going to start by swinging the Ryudomon into security, and swinging the other one just to try to get some damage in. Hit a Hammer Spark, and that is probably going to be a huge turnover. It probably would have been more smart to Digivolve like one of the Doragreymons into my hand, just to play around Hammer Spark, Ice Wall, or any other, maybe like another Davis or something. So we're going to see the X-Vmon swing into security. It is going to hit a Hisaryumon, but of course it does have jamming, and then we're going to, again, the Imperialdramon player is debating on swinging the Stingmon for the extra damage. This man fears absolutely nothing. We're just going to go ahead and swing security for 4,000, and what do you know, he lives. So we're going to hit a UG in security, which is definitely good for me, but of course now it means that we're just going to see a DNA Digivolution of the Imperialdramon here. So Imperialdramon once again will come down onto the board, reset the inherited effects, draw some cards, unsuspend, and then we're going to hit an Aseiryu Ojin in security. That is going to devolve the Imperialdramon, but then of course won't delete it because X-Vmon is unfortunately a 5 play cost. So it really didn't accomplish much because he's still unsuspended. He does have jamming, but we're not going to draw 2 because he's already used the jamming draw from the Demi Vmon. We're just going to draw off of the Stingmon there and check security. Going to hit a Coda, so really nice security here. Going to reveal the top 4 to grab one of those Digimon. Probably going to grab the I've got an Alphamon in my hand, so maybe I don't need the Doragumon. The Doragumon. So I'm just going to grab the Ginryumon, which I believe that one gives decoy, or no, it's reboot or blocker, one of those. It's a really solid inherited effect, and we've also got, of course, the UG as well, so we're going to be able to go to 4, draw some more cards. But again, even with starting with 4, I don't think there's a whole lot I can do aside from maybe set up a couple blockers now that I have that option. So we're just going to see the Hammer Spark going to 4 here. Our opponent does have a lot of options. We're going to draw into another card here off of the X-Vmon, going down to 2. He does also have a blue memory boost, and but unfortunately might have wasted that Hammer Spark because I will start with 3 anyways because of the Coda there. So honestly, even if he does something for 3, probably didn't even need to use the Hammer Spark anyways. But at this point, I'm at 1 security. He's got multiple Digimon in play, so unless I'm able to clear his board, this is not looking good for me. We're just going to see the Vmon played for a cost of 3, revealing the top 3 cards, adding any free attribute Digimon to the hand there. So we're going to take the Dino Bee, and then gain a memory, draw a card off of the Doragumon pushed out there, which is a blocker. Definitely cool, but not sure what we can do against 3 Digimon. We're going to go Hisaryumon for a cost of 3, and he's got a cool effect your turn. When you stick something underneath him, I believe you can Digivolve into a a X-Antibody for a reduced cost of 1. So we're going to stick something underneath with the Ryuji, that is the Ginryumon, and then now we're just going to be able to Digivolve into Alphamon for a cost of 2. So then paying 2, we're going to Digivolve into Alphamon. That's going to put our opponent to 1. The attack then connects, and then we're going to go into the end of battle and gain the 2 memory off of the Alphamon effect. So still sitting back to 1, and we put an Alphamon on the board that does have the reboot blocker effect, and then we're going to play a Mechanori for a cost of 4 to kind of seal the deal. So now he's got to be real careful here. Of course, if he does have the Imperialdramon, I lose either way. So if he's got like Stingmon, Imperialdramon, he can definitely just bottom deck the Mechanori. But at least at this point, he can't swing with the XVmon or the Vmon haphazardly because I've got the Mechanori in play. But we see he's got a lot of options, lots of stuff he can do there. So we're just going to see the Stingmon first Digivolve for a cost of 2. And then we know he also has the Dino Beast, so we could definitely suspend one of my Digimon and possibly just prevent it from blocking. So we're going to see the Dino Beast Digivolve for a cost of 0, and then Dino Beast, whenever it suspends something, that Digimon does not unsuspend until the end of the next turn. So it's got like that Mega Gargomon effect there. So we're going to draw some more cards off the Demi Vmon as well as the Stingmon there, putting me down to 0 security. Now the unfortunate thing is that Mechanori can't attack, so because my Alphamon doesn't unsuspend and I can't like, you know, trigger it's like unsuspending with the Oriyomon or anything because I gotta attack to like use the Yuji, I kind of have to waste the Mechanori if I want to out this Dino Beast. But if I used up the Mechanori, probably gonna lose anyways. We're just going to see Imperial hit the board for a cost of 4, and then bring out the XVmon and the Stingmon once again from the sources there. So we're going to start our turn, Digivolve the Tsunorizumon onto the egg there. Of course, the Alphamon will not be unsuspended. And at this point, since I didn't have anything coming out of breeding, I'm not going to gain the memory. I'm not going to draw the card. So the unfortunate thing about the X-Antibody deck, I think, is it does take a little bit of setup time, and decks like Imperialdramon, like Armor Rush, that really don't want to give you that setup time, can kind of just pull the rug from out underneath you and beat you before your game even really begins. So that's the unfortunate thing. It's a little bit of a slow deck, but of course the ceiling is still really high, especially in BT9 once we get the level 7 Alphamon Oryuken. That will be really, really awesome, guys. I'm excited for that. We're just going to play a Doraemon for a cost of 3. Our only potential saving grace here is that we do have another Doraemon. Going to Digivolve that, and then now the Alphamon will unsuspend since it does have Reboot and it's inherited. So I've got still 3 blockers on the field to be able to potentially deal with his Digimon. So I'm still in this for just a little bit, but it just depends if he can go another Dynabe, another Imperialdramon to be able to out my board, which of course is very likely. We can also see something like a Megadeth hit the board. We know he's got that on the field. We see the Ice Wall as well, so realistically, even if I don't like out his board, he can just Ice Wall me and stall out the game that way, and you know, won't be able to do anything about that with my Digimon because I need to swing a bunch of times to be able to game him. So we're just going to start by DNA Digivolving into the Dynabe there, suspend the Alphamon once again, and then probably just going to start swinging with the Digimon he's got on field. So we're going to Hammer Spark first, swing with the Dynabe potentially, or does the player on the left think he needs to do something else? So we're just going to go Imperialdramon number 2. This deck is absolutely crazy. Just going to go Imperialdramon and then spit out the 2 materials and then go Imperialdramon again. This is just BM at this point. I'm already dead, bro. Like, just kill me. So we're going to bottom deck the Mechanori. We're going to swing at the Alphamon for some reason because the Imperialdramon is boosted, I think, somehow. We're just going to swing and block with the Dorugumon. Draw a card, of course, that's necessary, and then just swing with the Imperialdramon again for game. So guys, that is going to be game. I hope you did enjoy. This is a really cool showcase, I think, of how powerful, how crazy fast Imperialdramon is. So if you guys want to know the deck list, I'm probably going to post that in just a couple of days if it's not already on the channel at this point. I'm not sure which order I'm going to do this in, but anyways, that's going to be the video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.